Welcome to Wisdom Wednesday. It's Linda, and you may know that the month of January I have dedicated to talking about leadership, January 2022. And if you're watching this later, welcome. And if you're watching this live, let me know, drop a comment. Just move this so I can see them. Great. This month, this is the last episode of the month talking about leadership. We talked about leadership defined. Take a look at that one. That's where I sort of called the traditional definitions of leadership pure crap. Leading yourself, and we talked about leading others. And today we're going to redefine leadership. This is one of my favorite things to do with my clients when they say, I never thought of it that way, so that we can have that new, different perspective, maybe something that didn't occur to you or did, it just hasn't occurred to you in a while. So has leadership changed? Has it been redefined? You know, for years, leadership has revolved around titles, authority, responsibility. Remember the boss as the leader. If you were the boss, it automatically made you the leader. And you had to respect your boss as the leader. Well, politically, as leaders come and go, we've seen very different leaders have emerged, and each with their own distinct style, each with their own energetic vibration. And we tend to resonate with people with whom we are energetically aligned with. Now, think about leadership as influence, because leadership is influence. And there's a reality that we're seeing, and we can go back to kindergarten to see it. You know, what games get played and who plays with whom in the schoolyard. So watching younger children, you know, about 7, 8 years old is a fascinating, fabulous case study in leadership. I remember our son had a boy named Steve, not his real name, in his class about grade 3, and he was the leader of the pack. Steve was always the one that would shout, "Come on, let's go." And there they were in the schoolyard, and the whole pack would follow Steve. If you stood back and watched long enough, you would discover that Steve could get the pack to follow him. He couldn't get them to stay. You know, it's a lot of pressure to follow Steve, because you never know when he's going to turn on you and shun you because you didn't do so, or you did do, if you didn't do something just right or didn't the way he wanted it, because Steve had a tendency to make others feel small so he could feel big. And that often happens with leadership. They squash others. Now, my son, by now, when all of this is happening and everyone has followed Steve, he's followed, but pretty soon he's walked away. I mean, I've watched this for years, and he started doing something else. And knowing him, he was probably building something. And slowly the pack would galvanize to him. So he included them. They'd say, like, what are you doing? Wow, that looks interesting. You know, he might have just been examining rocks, but he found fascination. He has this innate curiosity, and he could involve them. He included them and made them feel special. And pretty soon they're all looking for special stones in the schoolyard. They felt good about themselves. They all felt like leaders. It's challenging to feel like you're a leader in power and in control. You know, we're all sharing this constant state of fear, stress, and tension about the unknown and the uncertainty. Let's face it. You know, it's human nature to be fearful in times of uncertainty, because it usually keeps us safe. You know, when you have that feeling, somebody's walking behind you, you want to trust some of those, or you just have that feeling and you're afraid, you want to take a look at it. That is human nature, because it keeps us safe. but it's also human nature for us to step up and make things better. Think back to your first memory of pushing back against injustice, standing up for someone who was being bullied, walking away from the leader of the pack, the so-called leader of the pack. Now, how will you put your leader into action? There has never, ever, ever been a better time for you to step into your leadership. Will you get pushback? Yes. Will you get opposition? Probably. There are a lot of diverse opinions going on right now. But you don't have to make others small to make yourself big. Just be big. The small ones, they'll figure that out. Don't fight with your lessers, somebody used to say. So keep that in mind. And I want to leave you with an excerpt from my book, Zest Your Life, A Taste of Inner Wisdom, on page 231, and I've adapted this a bit for today. It takes an act of power to find your authentic self, your power-filled leader. That's who you really are. You lead from the road you've already walked and what your eyes have already seen. The threads of your experiences are pulled together to form the tapestry of your life. Make it a beautiful one. Your act of power is waiting for you to take action. Do it now. Your personal story is about leadership so that you leave a legacy that others can follow. You are an inspiration to others, a magnetic, attractive energy when you zest your life. Have fun. Thanks for being with me. I'll see you soon for Wisdom Wednesday.